Well, welcome, family, to another episode of Live Today Health Talk. So, this is our traveling year today, and that's just what we're going to talk about. But before I go any further, as always, let me give honor to where honor is due. So, most gracious and heavenly Father, we thank you for a trip. We thank you for safe journeys. Now it's time for us to get on the road, and I ask for safe travel and mercies on the highways and the byways. But Father, I thank you for everyone that we met, for the purpose of our trip, and for all of those whose lives we've touched. So, Father, I thank you for giving us the technology to one, go on the flight, but to also have the technology to carry out the talk show from wherever we may be. So, Father, I just thank you as always for the platform. I thank you for the Women Veteran United Committee that was offered to go and meet HERS, another nonprofit organization, and they have on their hearts to help veterans. So, Father, I just pray that everything that we touched on with the healing and the soul care for each individual, and to be able to continue to pour from their cups to help the veterans, the homebound, and the homeless. Father, I give it all to you, and I just ask that you bring it all together. So thank you for a wonderful trip. And now, like I said, for the rest of the journey, for us to get back home safe and sound. So in Jesus' name I pray, and I thank you. So for our scripture for today, oh boy, it's coming out of Corinthians, 2 Corinthians 12, verse 9, and it reads, "And he said unto me, My grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Most gladly, therefore, I will rather glory in my infirmities, that the power of Christ may rest upon me." And that's just where we are. We just thank him for the glory as he allows us to move through each and every infirmity, because we know that Christ stripes, through his stripes, we are healed. So that means we move through the infirmities, but we also have to be wise, and we also have to take precaution. So our flight was a bit delayed coming home today, because I understand there was someone on the flight that may not have wanted to keep their mask on or over their nose. So, for those of you that don't know, traveling nowadays requires that you wear a double mask in some instances. So, the flight attendants had to keep saying over the radio to please keep your mask over your nose. And I know even at home, when we're traveling or walking around, we'll see people with their mask on, only covering their mouth, but it's below their nose. Well, that was an issue today during our travel. An issue so much that it caused us a little delay, so much that they even threatened to turn back around. You know what I mean? So, yes, we may have one. You see my protective gear here that I have on. So, I have on a shield, a guard, and a mask. Yes, I have some of the fancy masks that have the words on them and all that. But for we change them, we wash them, and then we use multiple ones. But I just want to say, for our safety, this is what traveling has brought us to. I also want to share with our military about the military now. Also, COVID has really impacted our lives, family, to such a point that our soldiers, well, our military members, I won't just say soldiers, have to wear the mask in uniform. They have to stagger their formations, and it has also impacted our PT. So if you think this gear that I have on right now, that it's as easy as it used to be to run for our PT, you better think twice. So even with our football players, I asked my son, are they out there with all that close contact? How is their breathing through the mask? Sometimes it's hard for us to even walk and go up steps with the mask on. So I want to share with you today just a few tips that you can use to bring more comfort to you while you're wearing the mask, because it sure does look like the mask has become a part of our lives, a part of our lives. Now, I have to say, no disrespect to some of my brothers and sisters in arms, veterans and comrades that still do not wish to wear the mask. And I understand that if I have on the mask and the shield or the double mask, and I come up to you and you don't have on a mask, then I'm protecting myself from you, right? Or so, and even if you do not have COVID or you, but we don't know when we may be asymptomatic. There's even talk now to say that we don't know if we can get COVID again, once we've had it. We don't know how long the vaccine is going to work or keep us from being contagious or being able to catch it. But and then we walk up to those that don't want to wear the mask. So I was saying, don't argue with them. Don't make it a big deal at all. Continue to love up on them, continue to pray for them, but you wear your mask. That way you are protecting both of them, okay? Because as long as you have on your mask, then you can't breathe or cough or spew on them in any type of way. No type of no type of microbes are supposed to be able to be passed as long as you don't touch them and you keep your distance. So therefore, if they refuse to wear their mask, just continue to love them and just pass on by. That's all. You can agree to disagree without impacting your health, right? So let me show you what I have on today. So I have on my shield here. So the shield was my double layer for protection. And inside, underneath the shield, I had on my surgical mask. But inside the mask, I also have on my guard. So with the guard, it helps uh, it helps make it a little bit easier for you to breathe under. But I'm gonna share a video with you, and the two young ladies in the video will definitely explain more about some of the other, um, what should I say, apertures or some of the other accessories now that you have with your mask. So this isn't one of the only face shields. They have different types of face shields now that you can wear, and it's clear you can still see through it. They have the ones that you'll see most of our TSA workers wearing that have the glasses, like the built-in goggles, and then the mask or the shield, I should say, covers their face. And then you also have another pair that I like. They had the bubble ones, so it seals up here as well, and then it just covers like a bubble though. It's not straight or it's not flat. So at any rate, you know, Dr. Fisher, the CEO for Women Veteran United Committee, she's kind of wise sometimes, you know what I mean? And so when we got there, we weren't sure of all the precautions that we needed for our travel as far as COVID was concerned. And I know I have always questioned, how do you sit on a plane next to somebody? I mean, your social distancing is definitely out the window when you board a plane, okay? It's out the window when you even line up to board the plane. So there's no social distancing because our flight was crowded and we all sat. And I kept saying, how on earth am I going to sit on this plane for 2 hours with a mask on, right? I mean, that's how long the flight was. But you know what? When we got on the plane, they explained to us how the plane had been sanitized. And I mean, hey, you can take it for what you want, how it had been cleaned, but it's also up to you. So I saw a young man as he sat down, he pulled out his wipes and he wiped out his seat and wiped off the arms to the to his seat and everything. But we all sat there. Some people still spoke to one another. Some people still had conversations. Some people even still fell asleep. And the old my buddy thing, you start leaning over on the other person. But then when everybody kept their mask on the whole time. So I will say that use caution, but most of all, you use prayer to protect you. as you are about to travel and embark upon that travel if you should have to take a flight. So I want to share about the different uh, the different accessories that they have out on YouTube, as you know, that ladies and men and gentlemen, but mainly some you'll hear them say a couple of reasons for the ladies more so that you can use with your mask. And then I'm going to talk about our military. All right. So if I can, I'll share the first video and just stand by. And I'm gonna put my shield back on.
Wearing a mask doesn't mean your breath needs to be funky. I'm just saying. Hey guys, welcome back to another As Seen by SB video, but today I'm not letting you know whether a product's worth it or not. I just want to let you know about this mask accessory that is an absolute must-have. So in this video, I will discuss how wearing a mask bracket will make wearing a mask for a long period of time much more tolerable. But first, just make sure you're subscribed to this channel so you don't miss any information that I may review on products that may interest you. Also, don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you're notified whenever I upload a new video. And if you find this information, this video helpful to you, I would definitely appreciate a thumbs up. But for now, let's get on to the demonstration. So this is what mine looks like. Again, this is made of plastic. There's other brands that are made of silicone rubber, but this came in a packet of 5. And as you can see, it is very flexible. Now, no one loves wearing a mask, so there's going to be some pros and cons to any mask accessory. I mean, because at the end of the day, you're still wearing a mask. Now, what I love about this is that it allows more space when you put on your mask so that you're able to breathe better, you're able to talk a little bit clearer, and when you're talking or breathing in, you're not sucking in and eating your mask. And for us females, if you happen to wear lipstick under your mask or even chapstick under your mask, it won't rub off onto the mask. Now, one other thing to keep in mind is the dimensions of this mask. This is about 4 inches wide and 3.6 inches in length. So if you have a bit of a larger face than what I have, just keep that in mind. I mean, it's still beneficial regardless, but it's all in what you can tolerate. Here's an image of my brother, who is actually the one that put me onto these mask brackets in the first place. So shout out to him. But as you can see, he's still able to comfortably wear this mask, and he has a large beard. So I'm going to show you how this works on a variety of masks, but just to show you how you would use it, you just place it on the inside of your mask here. This is a cloth mask, and once it's in there, you then take it and just put it on like that, and it fits comfortably on your face. And as you can see, as I'm breathing in, this is not touching my mouth at all. Now, the one thing I noticed in the description, it says that this will prevent your glasses from fogging up. But what I noticed is it actually does not prevent your glasses from fogging up. That's contingent on the type of mask you have. Make sure you have the mask that has the nose bridge there. And when you wear your glasses, wear it slightly over the mask there so that your glasses won't fog up that way. Now, this is a side view of the mask. I don't think it looks any different than if you didn't have it on under it, but regardless, I mean, I just love the fact that there's no more friction between the mask and my mouth. One other thing that I noticed, that as you're wearing this all day and you're breathing in and out, there will be a little bit of moisture that'll build up on the inside of your mask bracket. But again, for me, that's still not a deal breaker. So one other thing, as you can see, I just took it off. You can see a little bit of moisture from the mask bracket there. But I mean, that's as simple as just taking a napkin and wiping it off. I had lotion on my face, so it happens. All right, so I'm just going to show you a few examples of how it can fit on a variety of masks. It can fit on disposable masks and your washable masks. So first I have the disposable mask. Now, if you're wondering what these little clips are, this is only for disposable masks, where you take the clip and you push it down into the cleats. Sorry, you can't really see that, but you push it down into the cleats, and that helps to hold it in place. Now, I don't really find that necessary. I still think that you could just lay it inside of the mask and it works fine that way. And this is what it looks like on. And again, this is what the washable mask looks like. This one has a filter where you can actually put the filter on the inside. I don't have one in there right now, but same deal. You just lay that on the inside and place it on your face. And another washable mask. This one is actually a little bit larger. And as I mentioned before, it does fit a little bit better when you have a mask that fits a little tighter to your face, but I still didn't find any issues with this one either. And one more thing before I let you go, might I suggest a little bit of breath etiquette. This awesome mouthwash by ACT. It also has a pre-measured cap here. Also, 0% alcohol, so it won't burn your mouth. Also, these amazing tongue scrapers, these come 2 in a pack on Amazon. As you can see here, it eliminates functified breath. I mean, just because you're wearing a mask doesn't mean your breath needs to be funky. I'm just saying. All right, so that's it. Thank you again for watching. If you have any questions, leave that down in the comments section. And if this video was helpful to you, I would love a thumbs up. And if you enjoy the content of this channel, as seen by SB, where I let you know whether a product's worth it or not, in my opinion, I would definitely love for you to subscribe to this channel. But until next time, be safe and take care.
All right, so family, I decided to use that video to show you the guard, but as well as our hygiene, right? Yuck, 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 yuck. Because man, they're making an announcement behind me. But because we know that when our mouths are shut up in these masks all day long, and we feel as though, oh well, nothing in, nothing out. But that's even more room for germs, a breeding camp, right? So she talked about a little hygiene there as well, our oral hygiene, which is very important because our mouths are shut up in these masks. We're also inhaling our carbon dioxide, which should normally come out into the air, but we're breathing it back in when we cough or when we sneeze. Everything that we let out orally is coming back in, so the germs are coming right back in. So that's why the brushing as well as the flossing, but also for your tongue and gargling to help decrease the germs in our oral cavity there. The mouth is known to be the biggest orifice for germs, for breeding germs, right? So therefore, that was a little hygiene message there as well. So as I was moving on to talk about our military, so there was an article in our VA newsletter for this month, as a matter of fact, that spoke about the changing of our military physical fitness because they are not able to do the cohesive workouts that we're so used to doing in the military, being out there together. They have moved on to including more wholeness ideas for our physical fitness. But will that hinder our lean, mean fighting machines? How will that pan out for them in the very near future? Because we know that our physical fitness test, at least for the Army, consisted of push ups, sit ups, and the 2 mile run, right? So if we're not able to get out there together and do it, to build one another, and to have that accountability, now our soldiers are left to do them in either small groups or individually. Well, just like us going to the gym, when you do these things individually, how much are you really doing? Are you, one, staying true to your schedule of scheduling your workouts? And two, do you have an accountability partner, someone to hold you up or someone to even encourage you to do a bit more? But they're also moving on to more wholeness activities. So you hear more about yoga, Tai Chi, and other physical fitness things such as that. And it's just become more mindful so that not just for our military, but for everyone. We have really become very sedentary. And trust me, as you've seen, the pounds will jump on you very fast, and it takes you a long time to relieve yourself of them, right? To get rid of them. So be wary that because we are sitting more, not being able to get out more, not walking more or exercising, especially now that we're in the house, you know, that is where we're headed. So I have a guest that's going to join me today. His name is Mr. Bernard Butler, and he is the founder of let me make sure I get it right. Urban Dairy LLC. But he wants to share with us today just what they're vision is in helping our veterans from afar. So this company is out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and I will let him tell us more about his vision with our veterans. So, hello there, Mr. Butler. How are you?
I'm doing excellent, Tiffany. How are you? Have a blessed Sunday.
Oh, yes, and same to you. Thank you so much. So, please, I've introduced you as the founder and CEO of Urban Dairy LLC. I'm not sure if you care to tell our listening audience a little bit about your business, and then we can move on to your vision, as I've already spoken upon our veterans and just how their life is changing due to COVID, due to the pandemic, and health wise, some of our health concerns. So I will hand it over to you and let you introduce yourself, and then you can take it from there.
Well, my name is Bernard Butler, and I'm CEO of a company called Urban Diary LLC, which is a media company. We produce films, independent films, and we do a lot of media consulting work for the entertainment and for the publishing industry. But our goal here is to produce a product that will help with the longevity and the immune system of particularly our homeless and our homebound veterans. We wanted to see packages or packets of vitamin B, C, D, and zinc, along with face masks, delivered to our homebound and homeless veterans, because we realize that even with the vaccine, their immune systems are going to be compromised.
Turn this down.
Okay. And we're going to be dealing with COVID-19 for the next, until some people say 2024. So if our communities don't have an effective strategy, and I mean communities in color in general, not just veterans. I'm sorry. If we don't have an effective preventative strategy for our veterans, and we don't implement that within the next month and a half or 2 months, we're going to suffer tremendous losses in our communities. So we have to be proactive in our efforts to save our veterans.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So that's wonderful. So we need our listening audience. If there's anybody out there, we need you all to flood us with some ideas as to how we can introduce the natural wholeness and herbal methods and natural methods of healing to our veterans. So as I shared with you earlier, VA has started moving into the wholeness area for wellness. So what we want to do is inspire them to move more away from the statin drugs, and just start looking at the body for natural healing, because our bodies were made to heal themselves, we know. So as we deplete our bodies from the nutrients and the minerals that we can, one, produce, not all of them, but our body can reproduce quite a few of them on their own through the intake through our diet. But when we are not eating right, or when we're eating on the run, or just cooking it incorrectly, like I know everybody is on a mission for fast, fast, fast. When we nuke our food, we kill a lot of the nutrients. And when we cook our food at certain levels of heat that are too high, then we kill the natural nutrients. So what we're talking about, or what we want to do, is just figure out a way to get those vital nutrients back into, and I would say, Mr. Butler, not just
Tiffany,
our
I'm getting
veterans.
a lot of feedback with you.
Okay.
We're getting a lot of feedback, Tiffany. We can't hear you.
All righty. All right. So can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
It's still a little disjointed. I think it's
All
the
righty.
mic is going in and out. So you're going in and
Okay.
out.
So
So
can you
I
hear
just
me
wanted you to
now?
be
Okay.
aware of that. Yes,
Thank
I
you
can
so
hear you
much.
better now.
All right. So let me go back to say what we want to do is if there's anyone in our listening audience that can assist us with ideas to bring back the natural way of healing for our bodies, because we know that our bodies are made to heal themselves. We also know that our bodies can reproduce some of the minerals and the nutrients that we need based off of our diet. But the problem, the biggest problem here today is a lot of us are not eating right anymore. Many of us are eating on the go and we're rushing through things, which means we're putting our food in the microwave or just cooking it too high when we burn it. And those flash points or the microwave kills off a lot of the nutrients in our food. So, therefore, our bodies cannot get the supplements that we need for our organs to reproduce, right? So, what we need to do is figure out a way that we can get away from the statin drugs and introduce the natural products for our natural healing for the many of our veterans, our lean, mean fighting machines, for them to keep going. But I won't just say that this is for the veterans or the military only. Everyone needs to learn about our, our life substance of how our bodies can reproduce the nutrients that we need so that we can stay focused on healing. So the packages that Mr. Butler spoke of contain everything that we would need for our immune system. And as you see me dressed here today, ready to travel, ready to go out and face the world. So is there anything else that you'd like to share about your packages or about your partner company, Mr. Butler? Did I lose you?
Are you talking to me, Tiff?
Yes, sir. Yeah. So I lost you there for a
I
moment.
couldn't
I
hear the
said,
question. I couldn't hear the question
okay.
because your
I
voice is a
said,
little muffled. Would you repeat it?
all righty. So I said, is there anything else you'd like to share about the packages that you all would like to distribute to our veterans, or anything else about your partner company, your partner that's going to be working with you?
Well, I couldn't understand your response too much, but I do think you said, "Is there anything we can do to partner together?" I do think that across this nation, we're going to have to demand that some attention be paid, particularly to veterans of color who are at risk during this pandemic, even more so than those from majority culture. There isn't a program, an effective program in place to really help and support these veterans. They say that there's funding out there, but accessing that funding and marshaling programs to become effectively to help impact our communities just don't seem to be working. So there has to be a national outcry from people of color and from people in general across this country to say that we have to do something during this pandemic to save our veterans. These people have given so much to our country. The very least we can do is respond in kind in their hour of need.
Wonderful, wonderful. So I may be a little muffled trying to talk through this here mask,
Mm.
but I want my listening audience to understand why he said, mainly with our people of color. So if you have not heard, when COVID first came out, or when we were first plagued with this pandemic, that the majority that of our loved ones that were transitioning were people of color. And that is because of, again, going back to our diet mainly, and that most of the people of color are already plagued with other diseases that make it so much more easier for COVID 19 to invade and take over and succumb our bodies. So when we already have things like diabetes and high blood pressure and a lot of other diseases, then that makes us an easy target. So if we
We
focus
really can't
on,
hear you, Tiffany. You're completely muffled.
okay.
Your
Oh,
voice is
wow.
completely
Okay.
muffled.
Thank you. All
And
right.
so it's
So if
like a
I
lot of
lift the mask,
feedback.
can you hear me?
But
Mm-hmm.
let me close on this. Let me close on this.
All
First of all, I
right.
do appreciate
Okay. All right. I know you couldn't compete. You couldn't compete with the loudspeaker. Yes. Go ahead. Uh-huh. Can you hear me, Mr. Butler?
no, but let me say in closing before I go. First of all, thank you for the
Mm-hmm.
work that you do.
Mm-mm. I lost him. All right. Well, it looks like I lost Mr. Butler, but I will say he says I'm muffled, so I'm not sure how much of this message you all are able to get. But I will say that that's why we have to focus on our communities, and I don't want to try to compete with the loudspeaker there. He's actually giving us a health message. Thank you for following WI and thank you for helping to keep fellow travelers safe and healthy. All right, so we know that again, we're already fighting off or trying not to be so susceptible to certain diseases. But with those diseases, it just makes our bodies all more vulnerable. So if you can hear me and understand me, for my engineer, I wanted to show the last video, which again will give us just a couple of more different ideas for wearing our mask. So it'll help give us some, I don't want to say appliances, but what's the word I'm looking for? Some other, I'll just stick with some other ideas to wearing our mask, and then we'll close after that. So let's show our last video, please.
Hey everybody, it's Makeup Me Marie. Welcome back to my channel. So you can see that I'm definitely not at home where I record. I'm actually at work today and I had a few minutes, so I decided I would go ahead and do a video on how to make masks more comfortable, or some of the tips and tricks that I have learned over the last several months wearing a mask. Yeah, that's part of reality now. We all have to wear masks, and me working in a hospital like I do, I wear mine usually between 5 to 8 hours a day. And I've learned a few things in regards to how to make those more comfortable. All the products that I discuss in this video, I will make sure to link down in the description box, so make sure to check those out. If you guys want to see some of the tricks that I use to make wearing a mask for hours on end a little more bearable, then make sure to stay watching. Okay, so one of the first things that I have found that makes wearing a mask a lot more comfortable, especially if you have oily skin or if you wear makeup like I do, is wearing these little face guards or mask guards called cheek sheets. Company reached out to me on Instagram several weeks ago. These are breathable mask liners. They are paper and they look like that. So it folds open and it fits inside the mask. This is what one looks like. I've been using this one for a couple days already. You can see it goes right inside the mask and it helps line the mask. Keeps your mask clean, keeps makeup off the mask, And for 2, it also helps blot your skin if it's oily. It sort of eats up some of that oily excess that you have on your skin and protects your skin from the material on the mask. I really, really love these. They are super affordable. I do have a coupon code for these. I will also link that in the description box below for 10% off your guys' order. They're super affordable. Absolutely love these for wearing masks and making those a little more, bearable. Something new that I have just started using is the silicone face guards. Come in all different sizes. This is a medium, I think medium small. I will, like I said, link these in the description box below, but this basically just fits over your face and your mask sits on top. It's great for the medical mask, so you just slide that in and you put it under your mask. And you're still able to pinch the bridge on the nose to make it sealed, but it just gives a little bit of cushion in there for you to breathe. The mask isn't sitting directly on your face. It works great for all types of masks. You put it in your regular cloth masks, just goes right inside, and then you can just place the mask right on top. Definitely recommend purchasing these. These are super affordable. I got these on Amazon. These are really, really comfortable. I've wore this several times for several hours in a row. People who complain they can't breathe, this definitely helps that. Another little tip that I have in regards to, I guess, making it easier to breathe with masks on is using good old zip ties. So I had these masks that I use all the time. As you can see, they're getting pretty wore. It's just a cloth mask. It doesn't have a lot of structure to it. So when you put it on, it sort of feels like you can't breathe, like it's suffocating a little bit. So I figured out just taking a regular zip tie, cutting it down. So this one's already cut and you can see it's sort of already formed because I've been using this. And I'm just going to go ahead and stick that inside the face mask where the seam is. So you can see I just went ahead and put that zip tie in the middle there. You can barely even see it. And that just gives it a little more shape, a little more structure. So now that when you put that mask on, it gives you some area here to breathe. It just gives it a little more structure. So there's a little more room in there so that you can actually breathe. And this has been a lifesaver. You can cut the zip ties to any size to fit any mask as long as they have a little seam here. It's just, just to sort of stick it in, and then you can just pop it right off, and it's that easy. It has been a lifesaver. So another trick that's been super helpful is using ear guards. Now these come in all different shapes, sizes, colors, forms. Basically this goes behind your neck, and the mask just sort of goes on these little areas here. So instead of that sitting behind your ear, it just sits behind your neck. I'll go ahead and strap it on and you guys can see. So you can see that just saves your ears from being pulled and tugged on. It sits comfortable on your neck. And definitely has been a huge, huge saver, especially when you're wearing a lot of masks. So you're wearing masks all day long. It starts to sort of pull on your ears. Not super comfortable, but these little ear guards, you can get all different kinds. I'll link a few that I have in the description box below, and you guys can try those. You can do that same thing that the ear guard did with paper clips. You just put your mask on there like that, and then you can just paper clip that behind your neck. You can interlink a couple paper clips together just to give yourself extra space. And again, that saves your ears from being, pulled and tugged on all day. I've seen that helps people, this is more for smell or relaxation, is using essential oils inside your mask, just using a little squirt of essential oils. So I got this essential oil kit off of Amazon, of course, and it has all different kinds in here. In this kit, it shows what's good for what. So there's peppermint, tea tree, lemongrass. We also have orange, eucalyptus, and lavender. So a lot of these essential oils are good for calming, relaxation, digestive care. Even some of these are good for skincare. So if you're having issues with breakouts and things like that, you could do a little bit of lemongrass on there. Eucalyptus also helps for skincare. Just a tiny little bit, maybe mixing it with water and just spritzing a little bit of that inside your mask, helping with skincare, with scent. Peppermint oil is good for mental health. So definitely recommend getting a little kit for masks. If you guys like these little tips and tricks just to sort of make your masks a little more bearable to wear, if you guys have any tricks that you guys use, link them down below. I'd love to try some new tips. Like I said, I wear a mask all day, every day, so any little tip and trick helps. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Make sure to check out my other mask-related videos here.
Of those tips, because I would say that was the problem I was having with the mask caving in on me as I would try to work out or walk or anything else, you know. So those were three tips to keep the mask from caving in. But the last tip with the essential oils, just to help your mood so you're not feeling so down and depressed, just, you know, rub a little bit, get a carrier, make sure you have a carrier, just spray or rub a little bit inside your mask. It helps keep you fresh. The tea tree oil or the eucalyptus can help with your mood as well as some of the germs that we breathe inside our mouth, as I was saying. And some of the other ones just help our endorphins to stay a little more happy and upbeat. So that concludes our show for today. I have Dr. Fisher here with me, and she wants to say hello to everyone. But you all use the tips, travel safely, blessings, and stay safe. And we'll bring Mr. Bernard back on another day so we can talk more about that plan. All righty. Thank you so much. And I am out.